Welcome back. 7 o'clock on Thursday. I could be doing a lot of other things right now. I could be working out. I could be cleaning the house. Instead, I'm going to do Fantasy Showboys Week 6. So, I got my coffee. I'm ready to rock and roll. So, let's recap Week 5. First matchup we're going to recap. This one was a barn burner. This was the closest matchup we have had all season. Peter and the Jabroni squad beat Steven and just a bit outside by 5 points. Grand total 800 points for Peter, 795 for Steven. Steven couldn't even show his face this week because he drops to 1-4. Peter, he stays undefeated. He's 5-0. Here's Peter.
What's up, fantasy people? Thought I'd start with just a picture of this guy, considering I didn't realize that I had Babe Ruth on my team in the form of Ben Zobrist, who put up 135 points this week. So thanks, Ben, for single-handedly giving me a win. I greatly appreciate you. And then you have this guy right here, who's close to finding himself on the waiver wire. David Price, pitching like a member of the Colorado Rockies this year. Dave, what the hell's up, man? You've always been one of the most consistent pitchers in fantasy baseball, and now you're absolutely dog shit. You got a big contract. Suggest you figure it out, or else might have to drop you, man. Don't know what the hell's going on, but you're not helping. You're making it worse, and you're making guys like Ben Zobrist have to carry the team. Step it up. All right, now that that's over with, let's talk some baseball. Steven, I want to give you a shout out. Great week. Scared me the whole week. Scared me up until overnight the last day. And I just want to thank Hanley Ramirez for showing why I traded him and striking out 3 times last night to secure a win for me by 2 points. So thank you, Hanley. Your approach at the plate gave me a win. I went to sleep down by 2, knowing that I had a game-winning RBI with Nolan Arenado. And I pretty much thought I was going to have the win. Woke up, had the win. So, you'll take any win you can get in this league. I mean, every win is great. I'm 5-0, but there's a ton of baseball left. Obviously, my team has been playing really, really well and survived a scare. I didn't really think I was going to win that game. Coming in, I think I was up by like 20, but he had Garrett Cole and Matt Harvey, and I had no one. So I honestly thought I was dead in the water, but somehow came up with a win. So another crazy week, man. Somehow pulled one off. Robinson Cano did more against me this week than he ever did when he was on my team. So thank you, Robinson Cano, for being a pain in my ass all week, but somehow still won due to Ben Zobrist. Honestly, pitching staff has been pretty bad. Hitting had to carry the way the whole week, and that just shows, my approach is a little different because generally, if my pitching is bad, I'll lose. But I think this year, with stacked hitting lineup, have success. So and it's been working. Big matchup this week going against Corey. He had a tough loss finally last week, but can't overlook him. I'm glad I only have to face Jake Arrieta one time this week. But I do have to face Jose Fernandez twice. I think I only get Syndergaard and Archer once. So kind of lucking out with his amazing pitchers. But I do have to go against Mark Trumbo, who for some reason is deciding to be a good fantasy player this year. Pretty sure that guy's on roids. I don't know how else to explain it. They're feeding those guys something in Baltimore that I don't really know, with Chris Davis and Mark Trumbo just coming out of nowhere and just absolutely crushing the ball. So whatever they're feeding the Orioles, I mean, other teams got to start doing something like that because I don't know what's going on over there. Because Mark Trumbo is all of a sudden, this guy is if not the best player in fantasy baseball right now. I don't know who is, man. I mean, 325, 9 home runs, averaging 8 points. Um, no, he's not the best, but you know what I mean. It's crazy. So good luck this week, guys. Sorry for the kind of longish video, but Steven, sorry it was a tough loss, but I'm sure you'll be fine. And I'm signing off. So good luck this week, guys. But I do want to also explain one thing. Jabroni, I don't know if you've ever watched It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I don't know if you've ever heard of Italian slang, but a jabroni is just like slang for a dumbass. So it's just basically an inside joke that I have with some guys that I train at a facility for baseball, calling stupid people jabronis. So basically that's what it means for the people like Eric who are trying to take an actual definition of jabroni. That doesn't work. I mean, come on. It's a slang term. You really think I'm some stupid wrestler? Come on, man. You know, Eric is just like the typical Yankees fan. Just reliving everything in the past and bringing up everything in the past. And apparently all that stuff matters and not what's currently going on. I mean, come on. We're talking about current day. We're not talking about all the times I changed my names or all the championships you won. Why the fuck do I care? It's about this year. I'm undefeated, and I'm trying to win this year. You can relive your glory days. That's not how I go about things, man. All right. Peace out.
You keep using this word jabroni, and it's awesome.
And then everyone said jabroni.
Needless to say, it's been a tale of two seasons for Peter and Steven. Peter's made all the right moves, getting wins in every week. Steven's just been so close each and every time. He had some rough moves this week. Left points on the bench last day. Hanley struck out 3 times in the final game. Bad week for Steven, but he will bounce back. He didn't show his face this week. I don't blame him. He's gonna regroup and he'll come back strong. Matchup, we had the battle of the Bardos. Eric Bartosik and the Long Ballers taking on Bernie Bartosik and the 64 Phillies non-champions. And guess what? I warned you. Bernie prevailed 741 to 678, continuing his dominance against his son. I'm telling you, every time you doubt Bernie, that's when he starts winning. So I'd advise you not to do it. In typical Bernie fashion, no video. Here's the commissioner with some thoughts for you.
How we doing, guys? Commish coming at you from glorious Greeley, Colorado. I've mentioned that before. Just had a tough loss to my dad. He always seems to kick my ass, but it's usually pretty close. It's never easy against that guy, so I got really, really lucky. Come at you from Blonde Hall. Why am I here at Blonde Hall? Blonde Hall is where it all started. That room right there, that's where your boy, Mr. Andrew Cronin, as we call either A-Cron or Crony, used to live in college. Ain't that some shit? That one, that's where the league started. That's where the whole thing started. Thanks to me that we have this glorious fantasy league and channel of life. But I gotta give a shout out to my boys Edwin Encarnacion and Carlos Correa for stepping their game up and pulling their heads out of their asses. So I'm glad it's going well. Hopefully they can keep up their production before hopefully Trump doesn't become elected, because they'd get kicked out of baseball for being Hispanic. So I can't lose my best players, so let's not let this happen. Yeah, I just wanted to bring it back old school to where it all started in this lovely weather that I decided to make a video in. So a little treat for you guys, and hopefully my team can keep it together for my next week. So keep it real, everyone. Commish out.
Quite the trip down memory lane from the commissioner, back where it all started. That spot right there where he was standing is actually where we met, playing a little catch outside. Saw Bardo walking into Bond Hall, invited him, started talking baseball, and there you have it. That's where you fuckers were born, okay? That's where the league was born. That's where all this started. Good times, Bond Hall, UNC. Go Bears. All right, Rufus wants to introduce the commissioner's second video. All right, this is a tribute to Peter's style of video. Very serene, very calm, very hippie-ish. All right, Rufus is out of here. Here's the commish checking in with the second video.
I know I already sent a video, but I want to make this Peter style. Who doesn't like Peter style? Other than that, as I already kind of recapped, I lost to my dad, who this league doesn't give him enough credit. I wanted to share a little something with you guys about that. So that trade Tanaka for Kipnis. Tanaka dropped 40 points against me, where Kipnis dropped 20 against him. Didn't work out for me that way. My dad beat me and only used 6 out of 8 pitchers. He had his closer, Jansen, on the bench the entire week, didn't even know. And he left 88 points on the bench. Did some math. If he puts those 88 points in his lineup, he beats every single team in the entire league except for Scott last week. Give the guy some credit. He's got a powerful lineup. Doesn't have to do a whole lot to it. Other news is I got Scott this week. It's usually an epic matchup. Both 3-2, looking to go 4-2. You know, Scott, I'm not sure what you said to Todd Frazier's mother. He did not like that. Grand Slam, game-winning RBI, 58 points already this week. Hey, whatever you're doing, keep pissing him off, all right? My boy Toddy Frazier, he's got my back, and I don't think he likes you. But other than that, the trade I made, Donaldson, I acquired, gave up Edwin, Scherzer, and Felix. I think I gave up a pretty good amount, draft picks included. I don't think it's a trade rape like a lot of people are thinking. We'll see how it goes. It's been kind of years in the making. You know, I got rid of some pitching I didn't think I needed. I'm able to find pretty good pitching throughout the years. So we'll see how that goes. Pretty big trade. It could change a lot of things. Scott and I's matchup could make or break a playoff spot this early with these kind of teams. You never know. Storm clouds behind me. I'm about to bring the rain. Get ready, Scott. I promise next week my video will be more entertaining, guys. Got kind of a full house. I will not disappoint. Hopefully you won't either.
All right, Kamish, talking about his loss to Bernie, and also previewing a good matchup with Scott next week. Speaking of Todd Frazier, the coach also wanted to let you know that Todd Frazier knows he's a long baller, and he's going to be one for a long time. Check this out. Yes, that's no bullshit. That is a autographed Todd Frazier baseball in which he wrote "Forever a Long Baller." That's legit. That's legit. So look forward to that matchup. We'll preview that in a minute. All right, let's talk about the trade alert, trade of the week between the Hebrew Hammer and the Long Ballers. So the Hammer gave up Josh Donaldson, a reigning MVP. Gave him to the Long Ballers for Edwin Encarnacion, Max Scherzer, and Felix Hernandez. Now, I know Scherzer hasn't been the same, but he's still Scherzer. Felix is still Felix. Edwin is a decent enough replacement for a one-year rental. As far as Donaldson's concerned, I honestly think the Long Ballers gave up too much, and I know the majority of you think otherwise. You know, hitting's always at a premium in fantasy, but Scherzer and Felix for, you know, maybe a stretch playoff run could turn things around for Jeremy. I'm just saying. Last year, I went against my whole philosophy of hitting over pitching. I did trade Chris Davis and Evan Longoria, I believe, to Jeremy for Chris Sale and Cole Hamels. If I didn't do that, I wouldn't have won. So I'm just saying, let's just see how it plays out. I went out early on a limb, and I'm saying Jeremy's going to win this trade. All right, let's talk about another matchup from last week. This was a hell of a matchup. This was undefeated Corey taking on Scott and the Weiss guys. Scott coming off a huge win. Scott prevailed 961 to 786. This was the ass kicking of the week, but I tell you what, this was close all the way up through Saturday. Scott ended up putting up on Saturday 230 points, I believe. Just an astronomical number. He put it out of reach. This was tight all the way through Friday. That gave Corey his first loss. Scott's just rolling right now. He almost put up 1,000. That's the magic number for the week. If you put up 1,000, you're not going to lose. I can't remember it ever happening, maybe once. But this was a great matchup. So Corey, here he is talking about his first loss of the season.
All right, guys. Took me a couple days to get over that one. Riding that great tide of it's so successful. Just have Scott punch me in my dick. So all of that's done. I'm no longer the Cinderella team. But 961 points. What the fuck? 231 points on a Saturday? I was looking forward to my Saturday and Sunday. And if you would have told me that Jose Altuve would score him over 100 points in one God-given week, Jose Altuve's got 9 home runs. The guy's like 4'6". And he's got 9 home runs. Giancarlo Stanton is on your team, and he's got 10. And he's like 7'4", 420 pounds. I don't get it. However, in looking at it, I mean, props to him, dude. His team is yoked. Nothing I can say. 700 points, almost 700 points out of just his offense. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Jonathan Lucroy, for Christ's sake. Okay, so anyway, I would like to issue a congratulations to Scott. Scott, props to you. You got a great team. It's shocking by the amount of points that you scored, but it's not shocking that it was a solid player like yourself that had done it. However, for dessert, now I get to play Peter this week. Sweet. That should be a fun one. Let's knock me down to 4-2 real quick. I'm telling you. I gotta hope my pitching staff stays together, stays strong, and I'll be all right. Other than that, Bartosik, a couple more good trade offers. Not gonna happen. I'm not getting rid of Machado. I don't think there's anybody in the league that can offer me anything for Manny Machado unless it's Nolan Arenado straight up. That's it. But other than that, there's no way I'm ever getting rid of him. Jake Arrieta. He is not leaving my squad. I pushed to get him last year, got him. I'm keeping him. Completely content with him. I'm not getting rid of Arrieta. You know, every team's got untouchables. Bartosik, you had a couple trade offers that included both of my untouchables. Not happening, sir. As far as this upcoming week, should be fun. I think it's going to present some clarity within the league. Who really is on top and who really is on the bottom. Sounds like marriage. Bottom line, I wish the best to all you guys. I hope nobody suffers any major injuries, and everybody's team stays strong, competitive. It's been a good year so far, and this is probably the most sober I've been making a video. So go Fantasy Showboys. Peace.
So there's Corey sitting in second place all by himself, still doing very well. Got a huge matchup coming up this week that we'll talk about. Scott must have had some good juju this week because he went to the game and he saw some pretty big hitters, starting with Trevor Story.
Do you want me to sit between you two?
Atta boy, Trevor! Trevor Story coming live, double. Here comes Blackman. Charlie!
How annoying would would that be if you're sitting next to Scott at the game? Not to be outdone, another big hitter, Paul Goldschmidt. Check it out.
Cold beer, ice cold water. Paul Goldschmidt, the leadoff circle. This is Crony's favorite player. Crony has just a man crush on him. It's a little disgusting. It's not actually. I'm pretty sure Paul Goldschmidt came to Crony and said, hey, break up with them, I'm all yours. Crony would end that relationship quicker than anything. Crony, this is for you.
In case you couldn't hear, Scott sending me a video of my man crush, Paul Goldschmidt. Yes, Scott, you are correct. That is my man crush because 3 years ago I drafted him in the 5th round, and we all know how that turned out for me and prediction pain. Hopefully we're going to have some more in-game videos for you next week. Planning a little trip to the Rockies Mets this weekend. So hopefully we get some more player vids for you. But here is Scott recapping his big win.
Wise Guys checking in for the week. Coming from Coors Field. Beautiful stadium, standing here behind me, getting ready for the Diamondbacks game. Wise Guys had a huge week this week. Came up big with some big players. Altuve, 103. Story, 53. Mazzara, 58. Abreu, 69. Awesome week. Took out Corey. He's no longer undefeated. Wise Guys sitting at 3-2. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Oh, I got a big week this week coming up against Air Bear, though, so we'll see how that goes. This is going to be kind of a shorter video as the ladies kind of giving me mean looks of wondering why I'm standing here filming this video. Other than that, Corey put up a tough week, man, until Monday, and then I just destroyed him. Just joking, Corey. I was a little worried when you threw 4 pitchers. I didn't know how that was going to go. Ended up being kind of crazy, so looking forward to this week, guys. Sorry for the shorter video, but you know what? I'm getting kicked out. I'm moving. All right. Goodbye. Wise Guys out.
Good work from Scotty checking in from the Rockies Diamondbacks game this week. Last matchup. This was the matchup of the week. We had 2 teams really struggling, trying to turn their season around. With the X Factor and Jay taking on Jeremy and the Hebrew Hammer. And this one up through Sunday, I thought Jay was going to pull out his first win of the season. But Jeremy and the Hebrew Hammer, they pulled it out, man, late. 777 to 732. Jay is still winless. Jeremy goes to 2-3, right back in the thick of things. Let's hear from Jeremy.
Well, gentlemen, the Battle of the Jews is over. I have emerged victorious. Thanks to my boy Marco Estrada on the last day, dropping 30-something. Jay, it was a good effort. You had the lead all week. Thanks all you guys for, again, talking shit to the person I'm playing, forcing them to update, and making it a good matchup. But in the end, Hebrew Hammer is champion of the Jews. I'll see you next time, Jay. Eric and I made a pretty big trade. Finally parted with my boy Josh Donaldson, who I distinctly remember many of you talking shit when I drafted him, I think 2 years ago. And he's last year's reigning #1 player in fantasy. I think I got some good value for him. Edwin's been pretty good. Got some needed help in pitching. Now pretty deep there. Speaking of, I'm looking to send a pitcher and pretty much anyone of your choosing for a better outfielder. Send me trades. I'm interested. Looking forward to see what you guys have to hear, what you think about that trade. Good luck this week.
All right, so there he is, Jeremy. He's back in the thick of things. Like I said, 2-3, right where he needs to be to make a good run at it. So let's hear what the X Factor has to say about his 5th loss in a row.
Well, fuck.
Indeed, my thoughts exactly if I was Jay. Getting my 5th straight loss to start the season on the last day of the week. That is shitty. He's on the struggle bus for sure. But it's a new week, so let's preview week 6. Speaking of struggling, this week, picking the matchup of the week has been the biggest struggle for me all season long. On one hand, we have #1 Peter taking on #2 Corey. And then we have 3-2 Scott taking on 3-2 Bardo. Based off of the history of the league, I had to go with Scott and Bardo for the matchup of the week. These are two former champions who know how imperative it is to try to separate themselves from the pack early in the season. It puts them in place to do some risky ad drops, make some trades. This is a very important matchup, and I think we'll look back to it, and you'll know why I picked this as the matchup of the week. So this week's matchup of the week, 3-2 Weiss guys taking on 3-2 long ballers. All right, and this week's other marquee matchup, we talked about it, Peter's Jabroni squad, undefeated, #1, taking on Corey in home plate collision, 4-1. That is going to be a hell of a matchup, #1 versus #2, always fun to watch. Next, we got Jeremy and Hebrew Hammer coming off a big late victory, taking on Steven and just a bit outside, who we are waiting for him to make his run, because we know what's in him. So we're just going to have to wait and see for that to happen. Lastly, 2-3, 64 Phillies, non-champions, that's right, Bernie, taking on winless X Factor and Jay, 0-5. Going to be a great week. Excited to see what happens this week, and we'll check in next time.